Welcome to Spyder Auto's step bar installation guide for the Silverado extended cab. Before we get started, you'll need... Take a look as we zoom out. We've laid out the contents of your step bar kit with everything about where it's going to go. Okay, let's move over to our Silverado. We've laid out our brackets alongside our Silverado so you can see about where everything's going to go. And here we are at the front wheel. Just inboard of the front wheel, you'll find three 21mm body mount bolts here, here, and here. We'll need to remove all three of these. Those bolts are torqued down pretty good, so if you have a breaker bar, now would be a good time to use it. We'll break all three of these bolts free before removing them the rest of the way with our impact gun. It's a bit difficult to see, but this third bolt back here is a little bit higher than the other two. Okay, now that the three 21mm bolts are loose, let's remove them the rest of the way with our impact gun. Okay, and that's the rear. And now for the middle. And the front. Remove the round bushing from the bolt. Now take the bolt and insert it through the front bracket like so. And now take the bushing and add the bushing onto the bolt over the bracket. And then go ahead and reinstall the 21mm body mount bolt back into the hole we removed it from. Don't fully tighten the bolt down yet though. And now for the middle bracket. Like the front, remove the bushing from the bolt. Then insert the 21mm bolt through the middle bracket and then reinstall the bushing over the bracket. Now we'll reinstall the 21mm bolt back into the hole we removed it from. And now the rear. Remove the bushing from the 21mm bolt. Insert the 21mm bolt through the rear bracket. Notice that this bushing is shaped sort of like a dog dish. Put it back onto the bolt as if the dog dish was upside down. Then reinstall the single 21mm bolt for the rear. Like the other two bolts, we're just threading this in enough to support the weight of the bracket, but we're not fully tightening it yet. Now we return to the front. It's worth noting here that our particular Silverado had a previously installed bolt plate we were unable to remove. Insert a nut plate, like so, and then install two 17mm bolts and washers in place of the bolt plate you see here. Now, locate this support bracket and install it as shown. Locate a 17mm bolt and install a washer and a lock ring. Thread the 17mm nut or bolt enough so to support the weight of the bracket, but not fully tightened. Now you'll need to locate a 17mm bolt and add a washer. Then insert that through the front bracket and then through the support bracket. And then install a washer and a lock ring onto the reverse side of that bolt. Then install a 17mm nut to hold it all together. Now let's return to the middle bracket. Locate the middle support bracket and mount it as shown. Notice how the holes line up with the other brackets and the openings in the body. Insert a 17mm bolt and washer through the opening in the body through the support bracket. Then on the opposite side, install a washer and a lock ring. And then follow it up with a 17mm nut to hold everything together. Remember, like everything else thus far, we're threading everything only enough to support the weight of it, leaving us some slack for adjustments later. Now locate another 17mm bolt and install a washer. Then insert it through the center bracket through the support bracket, and then install a washer and a lock ring. Then install a 17mm nut over the washer and lock ring. Now it's time to mount our step bars, but first we need to verify that we have the right one. Verify you have the correct side by matching up the holes with the brackets. Now we'll mount the step bar. Line up the holes in the brackets with the holes in the step bar. Now we'll install a 17mm bolt, lock ring, and washer at each end of the step bar to hold it in place while we're working. With the step bar supported and held in place, now we can install the 2 bolts at the center bracket. Install 2 17mm bolts, of course with a lock ring and a washer on each. Remember, we're threading these only finger tight. Now we can install the remaining bolt at each end. Install a 17mm bolt to finish off the rear, of course with a lock ring and a washer again. And now we'll move over to the front to install the last 17mm bolt, lock ring, and washer through the bracket into the step bar. Now it's time to tighten everything down. We'll start by torquing down the 3 21mm body mount bolts. And that's all 3 of the body mount bolts. Now we'll switch over to a 17mm. We'll start right here, tightening this 17mm bracket bolt. If you got one handy, now would be a great time for a 17mm wrench to hold the bolt still while we're tightening it down. Tighten the 17mm bolt and nut that hold the support bracket and bracket together. Now over to the center bracket. Now we'll tighten the 2 17mm bolts and nuts that hold the support bracket and center bracket together. And that's it for the brackets. Now to tighten the step bar itself. Tighten the 6 17mm step bar bolts that secure the step bar to its brackets. And that's all 6 bolts. We've just got one step left. Now we'll check to make sure our step bar is tight. Give it a few firm tugs to make sure it's on there. Congratulations, you've just installed a set of Spyder Auto step bars on your Silverado extended cab.